got announced today, which, if you're watching this a few days from now, when it is actually uploaded, is the 30th of September. We have on short notice, which is going to be a full week, but he's just fought. Dan Hooker is now replacing Rafael dos Anjos and fighting Islam Makhachev, which is the no fight in the division. Nobody wants this man. And I hold him at such high regard because I'll give you a little backstory. On my channel for the past, you know what I'm like with Khabib. I always rooted against Khabib. I got a lot of hate for it for years because I always wanted someone to solve the Khabib puzzle, and nobody could. So when he fought Conor, I bet Conor. When he fought Al Iaquinta, I bet Al Iaquinta. When he fought Poirier, I bet Poirier. When he fought, everybody, Gaethje, I bet Gaethje. I was like, someone's going to solve it. Nobody could, and I didn't appreciate him to what everyone else did, because I just wanted him beaten. So I want to prove you can't go undefeated in MMA. And he did. So now his protege's come along, who's not as good as him. He's not. But Islam has got better striking than him. He's got better judo than him and Sambo, in my opinion. But when it comes to the ground and control, Khabib's always number one. But Islam can be better. And I hold Islam at such high regard. I'm so excited by every fight that he ever does. I love him to bits. I'm really worried for Dan Hooker in this. And I know Dan Hooker has the size. I know he just beat Nasrat very well. He's already in training camp, so I'm not worried about him coming out of shape or not trained or not prepared, anything that. The short notice is kind of irrelevant at this point. It's more just wear and tear from the previous fight, which he didn't seem to have much. So I don't think that's going to be a major concern for him. He wouldn't have taken the fight if it had been. I don't want it to be where Bisping, kind of fought Kelvin in China on 2 weeks after getting choked out by GSP. So he was already worn out, then got smacked in the face and just dropped. He was out of it. I don't think it's going to be like that for Dan. I think he's going to be prepped for it. I think he'll be healthy. But I'm seriously worried because I think Islam could just ragdoll him. I don't think Dan's got the wrestling credentials to even compete with someone like Islam Makhachev. Striking-wise, Dan is far superior. He's the rangiest guy in that division. He's got incredible durability, hence the Poirier fight. I know it didn't show in the Chandler fight, but it showed in the Poirier fight. And Islam is tough as nails. He's been knocked out in the UFC. He has one fight. He's over lost. Him and Khabib's record combined is like 49-0, or 49-1 rather. It's pretty obscene. I'm worried for Hooker, but he can do well.
Yes. So first off, hats off to Dan Hooker. Someone had to do it, and I was tired of waiting around. RDA, he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. I don't know where RDA is. Is he hurt? Is he not? I don't care at this point. But Dan Hooker steps in because someone has to do it. And it is a hell of a dangerous fight. What an absurd thing for Dan Hooker to go. Michael Chandler lost, takes on Nasrat, who was unranked, I believe.
Yep.
I believe he was an unranked fighter.
And he's a very dangerous fighter still.
Yes, very dangerous. He's a super up and coming guy. People love Nasrat. The odds on that one came in pretty close to even, which I was surprised to see. But we clearly saw afterwards why Dan Hooker was significantly better and deserved more credit in that fight. So Dan Hooker has been all over the place. He's fought some of the best in the world. The Dustin Poirier fight, which, I mean, that was an absolute war. They went back and forth. But to go to war with someone like Dustin Poirier 5 rounds like that is insane. I love that fight. The Michael Chandler one, I think you can kind of give that one to COVID protocols, him traveling over here. It's just been a complete nightmare for all the people overseas in like Australia and New Zealand. It's just been insane over there. So this is going to be good because he's here. That was kind of a warm-up fight with Nasrat. He's going to be very prepared for this fight. And the only thing really saving him here is, his size and his strength. Is that going to be enough to hold off the takedowns? I don't know. I haven't really seen anyone so effortlessly put people on their backs as Islam does. It is a thing of complete, it just blows my mind. It's magnificent, and it's very scary because he just does it with such ease. Thiago Moises, not a super highly ranked opponent. Drew Dober, it's kind of the same thing. He's a very good fighter, but he's not of the elite level that I think Dan Hooker really is at this point. So this is going to be a very good test. If he goes out there and ragdolls him, like you say, he ragdolls Dan Hooker, we're in for a world of trouble. Everyone's screwed. But I'm really holding on to the fact that Dan Hooker will be able to at least hold this to a close fight, because his ground game did look good. He did take him down, took down Nasrat like 3 times in that fight.
Yeah.
The grappling looked good. The wrestling looked good. So it will be interesting to see if he's able to hold him off for a little bit and at least maybe land some of those big shots that Islam hasn't really faced since the time he got knocked out.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, he's going finally against someone that has, I would say Dan Hooker is an elite level striker, and he is good on the ground.
Yeah.
He's known as the hangman for a reason. He guillotines the hell out of people. He strangles you. So, but that's not what Islam does. Islam's not a slam artist. He's not a double leg guy. He's a tripper. He will get you against the cage and snap you to the ground. He will put his body so close to yours, you can't. You're just smelling Islam all day, and that's, you know, when he fought Moises, as you say, Moises isn't elite, but he was on a win streak. He is elite. Moises will be up there. He's only 24, 25 years old. He's young.
Yeah.
And he is a black belt that kills black belts on the ground. He's that level jiu-jitsu. And Islam just went, what's jiu-jitsu? I just knife through butter, just straight through him. You know, what he did to Judoba with the arm triangle. Oh, it's just everything about that fight was just, that is Khabib mauling style, and it is scary. But as you said, if Dan can keep him at bay for long enough and frustrate him, he can catch him for sure. But if it even touches the mat, there is not a chance Dan Hooker's jiu-jitsu is better than Moises's, for a start.
Right.
There's not a chance he is surviving on the ground, because I don't believe anyone is surviving on the ground with him in this division. Nobody has his ground game. Nobody, except Khabib. And he's trained by Khabib. So it's, as you say, seriously scary for him. But all the balls of Dan Hooker to take this fight, I almost want him to get something out of it. But I want Islam to win, because I want Islam to be champion. So it's a real tough bet for me on who I want to win, but who I think is going to win. I think Islam. I think it'll be a silly favorite odds. I don't think you're going to make any money if you bet Islam and he wins.
Oh, yeah. No, I think at this point, and I think Aaron kind of said it, but we're never going to see Islam as an underdog again. Unless, he gets his lights put out by Dan Hooker here. But until someone does something to this man, he's on a warpath. He's coming in as like a -300 favorite pretty much every time. Yeah. And I absolutely want to see Dan Hooker win this fight. Absolutely. That's who I want to see win this. And I don't have really anything against Islam. He's not a bad guy. He doesn't talk a whole bunch of trash. Do we really want to go back to the old days of where, Khabib held down this division and basically bottlenecked it and just killed everyone that went into him? I don't want to see that again for the next 5 years, because Islam's a young guy and we're like trending in that direction, especially with his style of the wrestling and the grappling. And now he has a more advanced striking than Khabib did. We're trending into that direction. So I would absolutely love for Dan Hooker to just hold him off for a little bit, land some of those big shots and really take him out. I'll take Dan Hooker plus money with the TKO prop bet, which will probably be like a +400, +500 bet. I'll take that all day.
Wow, you got some balls like Dan Hooker, man, to do that. That's crazy. I don't see it personally, but if you can hurt Islam and you still lose, I think that's a win at this point in your career. I rate Islam that highly. That's what everyone remembers Michael Johnson, not for his career, but for hurting Khabib, to make him look human. And that was it. Everyone thought Conor will make him look human, and he got sat down by Khabib with an overhand right. So to me, this is Islam's to lose. And also, I think this is a blessing in disguise for Islam, because he's been calling for that top dog for so long and no one wants a piece of him. RDA dodged him for so long, and RDA can't dodge him any longer. Otherwise, he's going to lose his rank spot. So he accepts the fight. This is a better fight for Islam. This is a better name on his record at this point, because I think RDA has zero chance against Islam. He does nothing better. He's a lot older. He's just out of it completely. And I think he would beat the shit out of, to be frank, like absolutely annihilate RDA at this point. I think Dan Hooker's a lot harder test. He's coming off a win. Everyone loves Dan Hooker, so he's a fan favorite. It will get more eyes on Islam. I think it's a win-win for everybody in this fight.
I agree with all that. And I also want to just say too, like if we're looking at, who is going to fight Islam, who's going to take Islam down, like it needs to be a guy with the strength, with the size to be able to hold him off. And when you kind of look at the lineup right now, I love Dustin Poirier. Absolutely love Dustin Poirier. I'm sure he could give him some trouble just because of his experience and he can do everything. But Islam is just so overpowering. It's going to be really hard for some of these guys in this division to just straight up hold him off. As you say, he gets so close to you, you don't really have a choice but to go down. And then when he gets you down with all that lankiness and that size, he can control you and he can get the submission. So it's very difficult for Justin Gaethje, who's more of a boxer, or Michael Chandler. He's a wrestler, but he's so small. I just don't see it with the size and the strength that Islam's going to bring to this.
Yeah, no, I agree. So you're going to pick the underdog here in Dan Hooker. I'd like to know how many people that see this write in the comments that how many people actually do pick Dan Hooker, because it'll be a surprise to me. I think a high 9 out of 10 people will pick Islam for this fight. I am part of that crew. You, sir, have balls of steel to do that, but I'm going Islam by ragdoll effect, and I do think he's going to finish him. I do.
That's tough. I don't know, man.
Submission.
Yeah. No, if you look at like the Dustin Poirier fight, like I don't know where Dan Hooker was like at the end of the round 4 or 5. Like he had almost nothing left to give. If Islam has the cardio, can go those rounds, that's where he's gonna finish people too. Like he'll choke you out in round 4 or 5, no problem. But also Dan Hooker, it's more of a value pick than anything. If he comes in as a plus 300 underdog, and even again with that prop bet, if I can get like a TKO or a knockout or finish in general, like plus 500, I think that has a lot of value to it.
No, I like that as well. I think a lot of people, especially people that do bet on these cards, will probably take that same aspect out of it as well. So I like the bet for Dan. I don't have the balls to do it.
Oh man, we're in for a world of trouble. I'm telling you, someone's got to put him out.
Yeah, man. But hopefully not soon, because I like him a lot.